The one other thing I wanted to talk to you and bring up about this is, you need to have a good doctor, you need to support your child, but don't you also believe, and from what you've seen, maybe you could talk about that anecdotally, that parents need to be, if there are two parents there, they need to be united front number one. Because I do see sometimes the mother wants to go holistic, but the father's against it and says that's a waste of money, right? So that, and you need to practice what you preach. You can't tell a child to be, don't be so stressed about homework, and then you come home yelling and stressed and pulling your hair out. Aren't those two really important things for parents to understand as they go through treatment with their child?
Absolutely. So I have a couple of things to say about that. One, the first point you're talking about having your spouse on board. We have an online membership community where we help parents walk through the healing process, and
Hmm.
we have like educational resources in there. And one of the videos we have in there that's one of my favorites. The title is "How to Get Your Spouse on Board," because
Mm,
that is such a barrier. It is such an incredible barrier for the mom who's like, I want to change the diet. And dad's like putting a pizza in his face in the corner while the kid's eating,
right.
gluten-free, paleo, whatever. That is such an incredible point. And I forget what the other thing I was going to tell you about, but I just feel like 80% of parents who have kids with special needs in particular are going to end up getting divorced. It is such a
Right.
stressful
Hmm.
situation to have a child with special needs. Like there are resources for those parents. That's what I was going to say. It's about the starting with yourself as a parent. There are resources for
Hmm.
the parents who, can help figure out how to get their spouse on board. You can work with a therapist or whatever, because
Hmm.
that's absolutely fundamental if you're going to go on this journey where you're going to change your diet and change your culture at home. The other thing I was going to mention that is so important is that kids, especially little kids, they regulate their nervous systems in sync to their parents. So like it's oftentimes mother and child, but it can be father and child.
Yep.
So like you said, mom comes home and she's like all stressed and yelling about this. That child is like their nervous system is all of a sudden like locked into mom's, and like they're both like this. And I've seen this time and time and time again where, because I've been sort of walking people through this healing journey for 15 years. And like, you get to this point where like, okay, you make diet changes, you change some stuff and get rid of the toxins in the home, kids starting to get it better. And then all of a sudden, like you hit this plateau where like, I'm not seeing any more improvements. We saw some initial gains in the beginning, and then we're not seeing any more improvements. Like what's going on? Inevitably, it is always either the mom or the dad that needs to start working on themselves.
Yep.
Because a lot of times, especially mom is like, I gotta fix my kid. Like this is unacceptable. How's he gonna get into Harvard if he has ADHD? Like this intensity to fix my child can actually be self-sabotaging because it makes mom and dad so ramped up. And again, like the minute mom regulates her nervous system,
Hmm.
that child is going to get in sync with that. And it's a modeling, but there's also something bioenergetic going on too,
Absolutely.
where that child is all of a sudden syncing up. So like the body cannot heal unless it's in a parasympathetic state.
Yes.
So if you as mom can put yourself into a parasympathetic state, that rest and digest state, and then child can feel that bioenergetically and puts himself into a sympathetic state, or even if you're just doing activities together, like a little yoga stretching. I know it sounds so like new agey, or like breathing exercises or expressing gratitude. Those are all things that put you into that parasympathetic state.
Yep.
Like if you as a parent can model that, that is
Mm,
so powerful. I think that's one of the secrets of the healing process that nobody believes, is that the little things matter. Like I'll talk about something
mm.
like grounding or being outside in the sunshine, or turning your lights low at night,
Yep.
or like little things that people are like, really? It's not an expensive supplement or therapy. How could it possibly work? You know?
Yep.
But expressing gratitude, like there's tons of medical literature on how feelings of gratitude actually regulate your nervous system. They decrease your blood pressure. They decrease inflammation in your body, reduce oxidative stress. Like you can look up all this stuff. Walking in the forest does all the same things. But it's because it's simple, people don't believe that it's powerful. But
Yeah.
I got overlooking the most powerful and simplest tools that we have in our toolbox.
Yeah. In life and in healing, it's usually often the simplest things that have the biggest impact on us, right?
Mhm.
And we forget that. We want the silver bullet sort of, expensive, crazy idea that's going to do it all when it is just
Mhm.
simple little things every day, like you said. And I do truly believe that parents have such a big role, whether or not even it is genetic and all this. It's not to take blame as a parent and feel guilty that I allowed this to happen to my child. It's to
Mhm.
step up and say, I'm going to be a role model for my child and I'm going to imbue them with this Zen like state, with the support systems. And I'm going to take part of it myself because, of
Mhm.
course, kids are just sponges. They mimic, their parents all the time. I see my
Mhm.
brother, start getting all, angry about something, and I see my nephew start become the Hulk and start running around, be like, smash, smash. It's just
Yep.
mimicking exactly what he saw in a different way, in a childish way, which is cute, but too much of that is never a good thing.